Welcome back to Streaming Media East 2022, the three-year Blip edition. And I'm here with John Petrocelli. John, you're still with Bulldog, right?
I am, correct.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about Bulldog.
Bulldog DM today is the world's most experienced live stream studio. So
Okay.
we provide all the various turnkey services that a client, i.e. a brand or a content creator would need to kind of navigate the challenges of scale, big tentpole live streams.
So how did the last sort of 3 years affect you? If you're a live I'm assuming it's physical studio as well as Remy, kind of remote
Well, it
production?
depends really where the client is, right?
Okay.
So we go there or we do things virtually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did COVID impact sort of the workflow models on that significantly?
It did. One of our bigger clients is at&t,
Okay.
and we go around the country and do tentpole experiences at the Tribeca Film Festival,
Sure.
the NBA All-Star pregame event, or even the Final Four or the College Football Champ. So that business, even the Masters, for the streaming they do there, really went away, and it was quiet.
Okay.
And then the virtual world kicked in.
Okay.
And it was a lot of work, a lot of long days, and I think it kind of transformed our business in some ways. The space certainly heated up.
Sure.
A lot of new entrants.
Right.
A lot of noise. Also some challenges some of these companies had with doing things at scale. And now I think we're seeing the output of that is this notion of hybrid, right? The shows are happening in rooms.
Right.
And the audience is, one audience is in the room, and the amplified audience is the streaming audience.
I think Ben Ratner said it best. He said his entire control room, he could only do it because of the hybrid model, because he had a phone booth at one of the corporate entities. That's where he sat up. So he had a couple monitors and the switcher, but obviously he couldn't have fit 3 racks of equipment in there. So being able to do a hybrid model. So as you talked about that sort of churn in the industry, do you think we're still sort of at that point where hybrid will be about half of the productions we do, or are we moving rapidly back toward in-person productions?
Well, I spend a lot of time in the music business. My former AEG and my colleagues are former Live Nation. And those are 2 big promotion corporations who didn't have anything to do for 18 months.
Right.
And I think the upside of that is also the independent venues around the country.
Sure.
Because they were dormant, they've installed more internet infrastructure, camera systems as well. So the upside of that is there's now some infrastructure where there wasn't previously in a lot of these venues.
So to be able to offer new experiences that maybe somebody couldn't have gotten even before.
Correct.
Okay.
Also at more manageable cost points. So I think we're going to see certainly a big, heavy, continued push with hybrid, right? And I think the benefit upside there is that consumers around the world have this learned behavior now. They know how to play live video.
Right.
Whether you're a grandparent who's done a family Zoom conference,
Zoom call, yeah.
You're a child who's done distance learning like we're talking about, or you've attended a conference virtually, or even watched like a versus battle on Instagram.
Okay,
So
the
world, I think, now understands how to play live video. And then the content creators are, they performed in living rooms now during the pandemic. So any issue they had with doing this previously is almost all gone. So it's created like almost a perfect storm for these hybrid experiences to come to fruition. And in my career, a lot of promoters have been reticent to stream anything. They say, I'm going to cannibalize my ticket sales.
Right.
I think that's out the window now. Right?
That's true, because there were no ticket sales, therefore you can at least make something on top of it. Interesting. Now, one thing that's happened in the enterprise space with, you mentioned trade shows. We did a survey last year that said, a lot of people had attended many more trade show events virtually than they would be able to physically do. But that at least half of them were saying, if there's no time for Q&A in the live trade show event, I'm just going to wait and watch it on demand later. I know your focus is live. Do you find customers saying, look, we'll charge one amount for live, but if somebody wants to consume it on demand, we'll also allow them to do it for a certain amount?
It's a great question. My personal belief is the idea of pre-recording and playing it out. I think that time has passed. I think the audience wants collaborative, participatory conversations.
And I agree with pre-recording, but what if it's done live? Is it then archived out for people to watch on demand later?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think that's a business in and of itself as well. And I think it's also, the e-commerce live streaming world is exploding, right? That's a massive business. And the smart marketers are offering products in the live stream at a certain price point that you take advantage of.
Right.
And that you're more invested to tune in real time.
Sure.
And ask questions, or how does this look, or if it's beauty or fashion, can you turn and show me that? Can I ask you a question that you can answer?
Right.
And I think Walmart's a great example, right? Then they archive all of these shows. You can go back. You might not get the deal,
right?
But you've discovered a product.
Discover a product.
So that's an exciting uptick of the pandemic.
And then I guess one last question along those lines. When you mentioned that archived content, searchability of content, as content has exploded, as everybody did Zoom for trade shows, education, etc., being able to go back and find snippets of that content to learn from, versus somebody having to manually go through and cut 2-minute pieces and put them out. Do we feel like searchability has improved along with this sort of uptick in content production?
I feel like it's getting there, but you make a great point. There's so much content, there's so much to be searched.
Right.
And a lot of expertise has been disseminated in a lot of this content as well, right? And how do you get to what you want to find in search?
The subject matter experts. Snippet. Yeah. Well, and I think it goes to sort of the beauty of live is the water cooler moment. Everybody gathers around it, and we won't talk about latency because that's a whole nother topic. But that water cooler moment of everybody experiencing the same thing at the same time, for those who couldn't experience it, then being able to get to that 30 seconds that really was what everybody loved, becomes ultimately the goal for that archived content. Because the people probably aren't going to want to sit through 2 hours worth of stuff if there's 10 minutes or 2 minutes that's really valuable. So,
right.
Anyway, well, thank you very much for your time, and always good to have John here. We'll be back shortly.